What's good, Skol Nation? It's your boy, Jake, here to unpack a wild chapter in Vikings history that's got fans buzzing. The Kyle Sloter story. This undrafted quarterback became a preseason legend, but never cracked an NFL regular season snap. Why? Let's dive into his journey with the Minnesota Vikings, from electrifying preseasons to bouncing around the league, and figure out what kept this fan favorite from shining in the purple and gold. Buckle up, because this tale is packed with drama, heart, and some serious Vikings passion. Let's get into it. Kyle Sloter burst onto the scene in 2017, fresh from an impressive preseason with the Denver Broncos, where he completed 31 of 43 passes for 413 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 picks, earning a sizzling 125.4 passer rating. The Vikings, sniffing talent, swooped in and claimed him off waivers, sparking hope among fans for a hidden gem. As a third-string QB behind Case Keenum and an injured Sam Bradford, Sloter was active for 6 games but didn't see the field, leaving fans chanting his name after every preseason highlight reel. Did the Vikings miss a golden opportunity with this guy? So what's the deal with Sloter's time in Minnesota? Was he the next big thing or just a preseason mirage? In this video, we're breaking down his Vikings tenure across 3 stints, 2017, 2018, and a brief 2021 cameo, using stats, stories, and the latest buzz from Vikings.com. Stick around as we explore 15 key moments in Sloter's saga, from his college days to his NFL dreams, and ask, could he have been the Vikings' answer at QB? Drop your thoughts in the comments, Skol fans. Let's talk. Minnesota Vikings fans, let's rewind to 2017 when Kyle Sloter first donned the purple and gold. Coming off a stellar college season at Northern Colorado, where he threw for 2,665 yards and 29 touchdowns, Sloter was an undrafted free agent with something to prove. His high school days at Mount Pisgah Christian School in Georgia saw him rack up 9,200 total yards and 87 touchdowns, making him a two-sport star with big potential. But could this raw talent translate to the NFL? Sloter's first stop was with the Denver Broncos, where he lit up the 2017 preseason, completing 72% of his passes with a near-perfect passer rating. The Vikings, desperate for depth behind an injury-prone Sam Bradford, claimed him for their practice squad before promoting him to the active roster in September 2017. Fans were hyped, dreaming of a breakout star, but Sloter stayed glued to the bench, active for 6 games without a single snap. Was this a sign of things to come? The question lingers. Why didn't Sloter get a shot? With Case Keenum leading the Vikings to a 13-3 record and an NFC championship run, the team leaned on experience over potential. But Sloter's preseason heroics had fans buzzing. Could he have been a game-changer if given a chance? Let's keep digging into his story to find out what held him back and what it means for Vikings history. What do you think, Skol Nation? Comment below. Fast forward to 2018, and the Vikings had a new QB in town. Kirk Cousins, signed to a massive $84 million guaranteed deal. Sloter, now QB3 behind Cousins and Trevor Siemian, was inactive for all 16 games, watching from the sidelines as the Vikings went 8-7-1. His preseason performances, though, kept the hype alive, 41 of 56 passes for 366 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks with a 114.1 passer rating. Skol Nation was screaming for more. Despite his stats, Sloter's role remained limited. The Vikings front office, led by GM Rick Spielman and coach Mike Zimmer, prioritized stability with Cousins, leaving little room for a young gun to challenge the pecking order. Fans on X were vocal with posts like, "Why isn't Sloter playing?" echoing the frustration. Was the team too cautious, or was Sloter just not ready for prime time? This chapter raises a big question. Did the Vikings' big bet on Cousins stifle Sloter's growth? His ability to shine in preseasons but not crack the regular season lineup is a mystery we'll unravel. Stay tuned as we explore his 2019 preseason, where he made one last push to prove himself. What's your take? Should Sloter have gotten a shot? Hit the comments. In 2019, Sloter entered his 3rd preseason with the Vikings, determined to make a case for a bigger role. Facing the Buffalo Bills in the finale, He completed 16 of 24 passes for 163 yards, 1 touchdown, and his first career preseason interception, posting an 82.5 passer rating. He led 6 drives, including a slick 47-yard scoring march to Amir Abdullah, showing poise under pressure. Skol Nation was eating it up, but the Vikings had other plans. With Cousins entrenched as the starter and Sean Mannion as the backup, Slaughter was waived during final cuts, a move that shocked fans. Vikings.com reported the team opted for just 2 QBs on the 53-man roster, leaving Slaughter out in the cold. "I put my heart into this team," Slaughter said post-game, hinting at his frustration but keeping his head high. Did the Vikings make a mistake letting him go? Slaughter's 2019 preseason stats: 39 of 51 passes for 443 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick with a 120.0 passer rating, suggested he had starter potential. As we move forward, we'll see where Slaughter landed next and why he never got that NFL break. What do you think, Vikings fans? Was Slaughter robbed? Let's hear it. After being cut by the Vikings in 2019, Slaughter's journey took him to the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. By November, the Detroit Lions snatched him up as a backup for David Blau after Jeff Driscoll's injury, but Slaughter didn't see the field in Detroit's final 4 games. His time with the Lions was short-lived, ending with the signing of Chase Daniel in March 2020. The NFL dream was slipping away. Slaughter's versatility, honed from his days as a wide receiver at Southern Miss before switching to QB at Northern Colorado, made him a unique asset. Yet, teams seemed hesitant to give him a real shot. Was it his unorthodox path or something else holding him back? Vikings fans on X were still rooting for him, with some calling him the one that got away. This moment in Slaughter's career highlights the brutal reality of the NFL. Talent alone isn't enough. As we dig deeper, we'll explore his 2020 stint with the Chicago Bears and what kept him from breaking through. Skol Nation, do you think Slaughter could have been a starter somewhere? Drop your thoughts below. In 2020, Slaughter joined the Chicago Bears practice squad, hoping to finally make his mark. Despite his impressive preseason track record, 111 of 150 passes for 1,222 yards, 11 touchdowns, and just 1 interception across 3 preseasons, he remained a practice arm, never seeing regular season action. The Bears, focused on their starter, didn't give Slaughter a chance to shine. Vikings fans, still following Slaughter's journey, were frustrated. His ability to move the ball, like his 2019 touchdown pass to Amir Abdullah or his 4-yard score to Brandon Zylstra, had Skol Nation dreaming of what could have been. But in Chicago, Slaughter was stuck in the shadows, raising questions about why teams kept overlooking him. Was it bad luck or something deeper? As we move to Slaughter's next chapter, we'll look at his 2021 return to the Vikings and the drama that followed. What's your take, Skol Nation? Is Slaughter a victim of circumstance or just a preseason star? Comment and let's debate. Slaughter's saga took a turn in 2021 when the Las Vegas Raiders signed him to their practice squad. After a brief stint, he was cut in October, but the Vikings came calling again in December, signing him to the active roster as an emergency backup when Sean Mannion hit the COVID-19 list. Vikings.com noted this move, but Slaughter was inactive for the Week 17 loss to the Packers and waived on January 3, 2022. This brief reunion reignited fan excitement. Posts on X from accounts like @VikingsFanpage hyped Slaughter's return, with fans clamoring for him to get a shot over Mannion or rookie Kellen Mond. Yet, coach Mike Zimmer stuck with Mannion, who struggled, completing 22 of 36 passes for 189 yards in a 37-10 loss. Was Slaughter's inactivity a missed opportunity? The Vikings' decision to bench Slaughter again fueled speculation. As we dive into his post-Vikings career, we'll explore his USFL success and what it says about his potential. Skol Nation, do you think Zimmer made the right call? Hit the comments and let's talk. In 2022, Slaughter found a new stage in the USFL with the New Orleans Breakers. Selected in the first round of the draft, he led the team to a playoff semifinal, earning all USFL honors and an MVP candidacy. He threw for 1,799 yards, ranking second league-wide, and delivered clutch moments like a game-winning touchdown to Jonathan Adams in Week 4. Vikings fans were thrilled to see him shine. His USFL performance, detailed on Vikings.com, showed the arm talent that had Skol Nation buzzing years earlier. A standout game saw him go 17-for-27 for 150 yards in a 23-17 win, though some criticized his lack of touchdowns. Still, Slaughter's leadership in a 34-3 rout of the Tampa Bay Bandits proved he could dominate when given the reins. But could this translate back to the NFL? As we move forward, we'll look at Slaughter's brief stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars and why it didn't stick. What do you think, Vikings fans? Was Slaughter's USFL run a sign he deserved another NFL shot? Comment below. Slaughter's NFL journey continued with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2022, signing just before training camp. In the Hall of Fame game against the Raiders, he completed 13 of 25 passes for 127 yards and a touchdown to Nathan Cottrell, but averaged just 5.1 yards per attempt. Despite a solid showing, the Jaguars cut him 16 days later, per Vikings.com, opting for other QBs like Jake Luton. Coach Doug Peterson explained the signing as a depth move, but Slaughter's release sparked debate. Fans on X, like at Sean Borman NFL, suggested the Vikings should re-sign him, especially with Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion struggling as QB2S. Slaughter even tweeted his interest, tagging coach Kevin O'Connell, but no deal materialized. This moment felt like another missed chance. As we explore Slaughter's next move to the XFL, we'll ask, was he ever given a fair shot in the NFL? Skol Nation, do you think the Jaguars made a mistake? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. In 2023, Slaughter joined the XFL's Arlington Renegades, starting in Week 3 and giving Vikings fans another reason to cheer. As reported by VikingsTerritory.com, he continued to flash the talent that made him a preseason darling, with fans like Jake Ellenbogen tweeting, "My guy Kyle Slaughter is finally starting." But the XFL, like the USFL, wasn't the NFL, and Slaughter remained on the fringes. His XFL stint showed his resilience, but the lack of NFL interest raised questions. With a career preseason stat line of 12 touchdowns to 1 interception, why couldn't Slaughter break through? Was it timing, politics, or something else? Vikings fans still held out hope, but the clock was ticking. As we near the end of Slaughter's saga, we'll reflect on his allegations about the Vikings and what they mean for his legacy. Skol Nation, do you think Slaughter could still make an NFL comeback? Drop your take in the comments. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: Slaughter's recent claims about his time with the Vikings. In a 2025 podcast, he suggested the team's front office spread false information to hinder his career, alleging they told him to play worse in preseasons to avoid challenging Kirk Cousins. These claims, reported by SI.com and MotorcycleSports.net, lack confirmation from Vikings.com or other primary sources, so we'll treat them with skepticism. Slaughter argued that his strong preseason play, like his 146.9 passer rating against Arizona in 2019, threatened the team's investment in Cousins' $84 million contract. He claimed management feared a breakout performance would make them look foolish for sticking with Cousins. But without hard evidence, these are just one man's perspective. What's the truth? This controversy stirs up big questions for Vikings fans. Did the front office mishandle Slaughter, or was he simply not the right fit? Let's dive deeper into his reflections and what they reveal about the NFL's inner workings. Skol Nation, what's your take on these claims? Comment below. Slaughter's comments about the Vikings front office, particularly former GM Rick Spielman, paint a picture of a cutthroat NFL landscape. He suggested Spielman and coach Mike Zimmer had tensions, a claim echoed by fan discussions on X, but unverified by official sources. Slaughter's frustration was clear. He felt his competitive spirit, evident in plays like his 15-yard touchdown pass to Jake Wienick, wasn't what the team wanted in a backup. He also highlighted the financial stakes, noting that a minimum salary QB outshining Cousins could have cost jobs. "If I'm a superstar somewhere else, the GM is fired," he said, pointing to the pressure on management to protect their big investment. This insight, while compelling, lacks corroboration, leaving fans to wonder if Slaughter was unfairly sidelined. What does this mean for the Vikings' legacy? As we unpack this drama, we'll look at Slaughter's positive reflections on learning from cousins and the team's great minds. Skol Nation, do you buy Slaughter's story, or is it sour grapes? Hit the comments and let's debate. Despite his grievances, Slaughter didn't throw only shade. He praised Kirk Cousins for teaching him the ropes, crediting the Vikings for having some of the NFL's best minds. His time in Minnesota, though frustrating, was a learning experience. Watching Cousins prepare and execute gave Slaughter valuable insights, even if he never got to apply them on the field. Vikings fans appreciated Slaughter's honesty, with posts on X like @VikingsFanpage amplifying his story. His 2017 to 2019 preseasons, where he completed 74% of his passes for 1,222 yards, showed he had the tools. Yet, the NFL's preference for established QBs kept him on the sidelines, a fate he claims wasn't entirely his fault. As we wrap up this saga, we'll reflect on Slaughter's place in Vikings lore and what his journey says about the NFL. What do you think, Skol Nation? Was Slaughter a missed opportunity or just a flash in the pan? Let's hear your thoughts. Slaughter's story isn't unique. Countless undrafted players face similar battles. He claimed on the podcast that 10 to 20 others experienced similar roadblocks, hinting at a broader NFL issue where young talent gets buried by politics or money. His Vikings tenure, with 3 seasons and no regular season snaps, embodies the struggle despite his dazzling 12-to-1 touchdown-to-interception ratio in preseasons. Vikings.com highlights his journey from Southern Miss receiver to Northern Colorado QB, showcasing his adaptability. But in the NFL, adaptability wasn't enough. Slaughter bounced between 7 teams, from the Broncos to the Jaguars, never finding a home. Was he a victim of bad timing, or did he lack that extra spark? As we near the end, let's consider what Slaughter's saga means for the Vikings' future. Could the team have handled him better, or was he destined to be a preseason hero? Skol Nation, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. Here's the final piece of Slaughter's Vikings saga. Where does he stand in 2025? At 31, he's been out of the NFL since 2022, last playing for the XFL's Arlington Renegades. His USFL and XFL success showed he could lead, but the NFL door remains closed. Vikings fans still talk about him, with VikingsTerritory.com noting his cult hero status among Skol Nation. Looking back, Slaughter's story is a mix of what-ifs and hard truths. His preseason stats, 111 of 150 passes, 1,222 yards, 11 touchdowns, scream potential, but the NFL's bias toward proven QBs and big contracts left him out. Whether his claims about the Vikings are true or not, his journey resonates with fans who love an underdog. Skol Nation, that's the Kyle Slaughter saga. Was he the QB we should have kept, or just a preseason legend? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more Vikings news. Share this with your fellow fans, and let's keep the Skol spirit alive. Until next time, Skol Vikings.